Okay.
That's great. Thanks, everybody, and I really appreciate being invited here. Normally, when I get invited to meetings such as this, I'm invited just as many of my colleagues in the audience because I, like many of you, have been a lifelong and continue to be a lifelong researcher in the field of sudden cardiac arrest and how to modify it, and particularly how to prevent it, as well as to treat victims who experience sudden cardiac arrest. Today, however, I'm here for a slightly additional reason, which is that, like some of you in the room, I too suddenly, unexpectedly, had a little bit of a problem about 1 year and 2 months ago when I had a massive pulmonary embolus and suddenly found myself, instead of being in sales, I found myself in purchasing as well, and actually had to take advantage of my colleagues in the EMS system and the hospital-based systems that I paradoxically and really to some degree a twist of fate actually had to take advantage of suddenly. So from that perspective, as a fairly informed consumer in the field of resuscitation, I really want to underscore how critically important this meeting is in translating the ideas that were generated in the call to arms from the Academy report that many of you had an important role in creating. But now it's really a time for a call to action, as we all realize. And yes, there are immediate things that we can, should, and must do, but there also are long-term, strategic things that we are going to hear much more about tomorrow. Now, as far as the short-term things, it really does take a village to save a life from sudden cardiac arrest. Really, the enemy of this particular problem is time. And we can't biologically control time, but we can stretch it by such things as citizen bystander CPR and the like. And so it's really critically important that tomorrow, as we transition from the discussions today on research and public education and strategies to improve both, it's going to be really important tomorrow to recognize that the systems that we have in place, both in and out of hospital to save the cardiac arrest victim, are critically important things that we can begin meaningfully to improve today. But we have to improve many of those things really on a local basis. It's really very humbling to realize that we have such variation in the odds of survival from one community to the next, as you'll hear tomorrow, from one hospital to the next. And so the work that all of us are doing today, tomorrow, and in the days ahead is going to be critically important. And the one final message that I think is uniting all of us as we transition from these 2 days into our roles back in the community trying to improve survival from cardiac arrest is that we really truly do need to establish a collaborative. There are so many silos that some of which we've heard about today, and there's so many wonderful examples like the breast cancer collaborative that have really given us, I think, a vision and a way forward to really bring our work together. So I want to thank you all for being here and want to invite you into the reception next door, which is in the Great Wall, and God bless all of you. Thank you.